Are we on?
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. Hello and salutations to another episode of Together We Roll.
Woo, yes.
I almost messed up there pretty bad. Anyway.
We're not that person.
David, I'm excited. Corinne Milne has been working very diligently, and we have to show off what she's done already. They can already see it on the actual.
Well, right now it's on the DM cam, so when I...
Okay. So you're about to see the sketches actually take over from just the colored splotches that were next to the people.
Yeah, I'm not going to do anyway, I'm not doing into. I don't want to touch the computer, but if you look right below Drake, we have his line drawing headshot.
Yes.
You can go lower. You
It's
can go
over
all the way
there,
down, all the way down. There you go. Otherwise, it would be in front of your face. You're like this, like it'd be in front of your face. That's
Isn't
better.
it supposed to be? We don't want to see this.
Corinne Milne's doing line drawings, so we got the line drawings, and obviously they're going to be colorized and all that. But until then, I wanted to get these up. And we have Niquis as well underneath her. These little headshot portraits.
This is a little creepy. I like it.
And
No, that's actually Niquis's color.
we actually
that's a finished product.
Every time it snows, she disappears.
and I also did the liberty of putting up the images actually full size for the sketches if they want to show.
Oh yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, so who do you want to do first?
His.
And then once we're done with it, we'll actually...
Do you actually have
ourselves
it set up so you can press the button?
cocky, very young...
Oh yeah, that I'll never die.
Right, and so that's the other thing, is that in my head I've always pictured Drake as being somewhat actually closer to middle age. And so that's a very different,
There has to be some way to make it more fiendish too.
Oh yeah,
Because
there's
it's
the
not just a
purple.
normal push, it's a fiend push.
Nice.
So this is Hemingway.
Yes.
Courtesy of
There we
yours
go.
This is important.
It's very
this
important.
needs to be seen.
Wait, you haven't shown that off at?
No,
we never have.
He's forgotten to bring it every
single time. So
So
yeah.
this is the first introduction.
Blasphemy.
Of...
and the purple, you got the purple. That's awesome.
Oh, I love it.
So
And it was
awesome.
handcrafted
Who's gonna
by
Anyway,
Tony.
this would have been great for last session.
It's all right.
Park's turn.
Sparks is in trouble!
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's just
No.
thank you again, Corinne Milne. And here's the second one for it with Tanya's character Niquis Naquis.
on boobs, 3/4 on butt, and I just took the sliders all the way down in
Yep.
every category because this woman should look
We're talking.
as close to malnourished as.
Feed her a cheeseburger, then feed her another one.
I would like to point out to both of you that nothing you're saying has anywhere near enough carapace for her to be interested. So,
Alright, the cheeseburger's gonna be really disgusting. It's gonna be like,
You never heard of the burger
soft
beetle?
and
You've never heard of the burger beetle?
Crisp
Shayla's
vegetables.
got lettuce coming.
Crisp vegetables have got to have some sort of crunchiness to them.
let's just go with live crabs. That way he can handle the fact that at least it's an edible food, and she can handle the fact that it's as raw as it should be.
Well, I mean, if you can eat it, technically it's edible.
So really cool. Thank you very much, Corinne, for this beautiful artwork that you're working on.
Is.
We know that there's a lot more to come, and can't wait to show off the full colors when they're ready. But in the meantime, at least we don't have the faceless drawings behind, those circles. So.
Hey, sometimes the more of the mystique of the actual appeal is much higher.
So anyway, write in
But the art
comments
is
what you
amazing.
like about the drawings. I would really love to hear from you. So yeah, comment away. I always forget to remind to do that. We'd really love to hear from you. So chat as much as you like on the comment section, or if you're watching this live, obviously live chat is available. So go for it.
All right. Apart from that, we have one more miniature coming from Hero Forge.
We do.
It is purchased, taken care of, colored, and everything. It should be on its way shortly. So hopefully, next game, we're going to have all colored miniatures.
For Niquis, right?
Yes, Niquis Naquis.
And we only have one original miniature still, and that is David's.
For the original. And honestly, that is a good miniature. Sorry, Hero Forge, you're awesome, but this is a better turtle.
Yeah. Their turtles are well.
They're more a Teenager Mutant Ninja turtle style. And I'm like,
There's nothing really wrong with that, but our image of a turtle is a little bit more
snapping turtle. With
turtle-ish
You. With you, it's
versus-
a snapping. Yeah.
But even those are a little more humanish with being they're human-ish with turtle characteristics, whereas we like to see our turtles be
Turtle with human
turtle
characteristics.
with human characteristics.
I would like to say that I'm right. Thank you.
I
Internet,
reject
fight me.
reality and substitute my own.
Yeah. My turtle
reality.
vision is better than everyone else.
No,
Hands
it's the
down.
only. It's the only image.
Oh, of course, yes.
Only image.
With that note, let's get to the introduction and soon to be changed. We're going to have to figure out how to do that. Hurdle.
Yeah, as soon as the color art is available, then I can actually redo the intro video, incorporating the new
100%.
character art. We, of course, need to pay homage to our other characters who are still alive in the campaign, just not playing with us right now.
Correct.
We love you guys. We miss you.
We need to make an update video on like what happened and everything. Anyway,
Yeah.
don't worry, it was good. Anyway, but it's unfortunate. So apart from that, let's get to another episode of Together We Roll. See you in a moment, everyone. And welcome back, everyone.
Thank goodness you didn't see any of that.
Yeah,
so glad I didn't
so
see
glad
that.
they didn't hear the in-depth discussion of grammar.
Actually, it makes my head hurt.
Apparently, I can say homage or like hummus.
Homage?
Or-
homage or homage?
Homage.
No, you have to make it more girly.
Do you want to sound like you're French, or you want to sound like from the 21st
All
century?
right, let's get to this, guys.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, but the one that's French is the one that is considered to be more of the 21st
It's actually,
century.
and it's also the oldest one. Like
Yes.
we're moving back to what it used to be old.
The more you know. Anyway.
It's similar to the spelling of theater, which is becoming more British.
I
in
have
the-
always spelt it R-E.
Yeah, and that's...
I'm sorry, but let's
No,
move through that
continue,
process.
please. This is
Well,
interesting.
welcome to Grammar 101.
The UK spelling of theater is R-E, and the American English spelling is E-R, but there's been a transition within American English to go back to R-E, which I firmly believe is due to young theater kids wanting to feel fancy. But I don't have
It's a
scientific
theater.
evidence. Yeah, that.
Okay.
I like both spellings, so
I got buttons set up.
I believe we were just arrested.
Yes. This is the conversation as you're talking about grammar. As you guys,
As you're walking down, I'm positive it's homage.
the most, you know, what is the
I
first thing you
want-
do when you get arrested? Talk about grammar.
I want that to be what happens because you're talking about it with someone who keeps accidentally dropping. Sorry, I couldn't remember it in common because she's busy speaking.
So just to recap, so we know where we are, you have successfully, after crash landing, shipwrecked, you found the hidden city of Hartkern. You were briefly interrogated since you were at the border and basically met the border control. You rode the Titans back after being invited by via message spell to the council attempted thought to be witnesses to a trial to the person that, well, apparently that is vouched for you so that you may enter.
Who is a giant jerk.
Apparently there's a trial for that, so you know.
We don't put people on trial for being racist bastards. In his case, we should, but now I say that as a racist bastard. Playing a racist bastard.
You got to Hartkern, met the city, found out that it was a lot more, a lot more races apart from just Warforged, explored it a little bit, bought some fancy doodads here and there, got some scrap, got some batteries so that you're able to live, and got a little nightmare machine for yourself.
And a dog.
And a dog. And a blink dog. A lot of things happened.
Nightmare machine, blink dog. One of those takes.
As you guys lay down to rest, half the group drunk, Sparks, unknowingly of the artifact that it was wielding in its hand, decided to go, I'm going into the city like a lost child with a burning pocket full of money. You found, due to a failed or it was like an investigation check or basically a perception check.
Perception, I rolled 12.
Yeah, you didn't roll very good on finding a good place to find it, so you found more of a paranoid wacko nut job.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, that was trigger happy.
I say that as a trigger-happy, paranoid wacko.
This individual attempted to forcibly take this arc of cogs from you and had some trouble. And a shootout broke out, and alarms went off. You guys ran through the city, still in your drunken stupor, with a octopus leading the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those who were drunk.
Those,
Some of
yes.
us were
You were
just-
not.
Hey, where is it?
Where is it? A small fight broke out as you broke into this heavily reinforced bunker of a house / shop, and it was about to blow up because the oil gas started to spill all over the place due to some, on the marksman shot with him, according to him.
Oops.
Yeah, fire line that started to go up. You decided not to resist the arrest, as you were part of the situation at hand. That was literally a shootout in a residential district. The Ark of Cogs, taken by this robed, four-armed warforged that seems to be very streamlined in its make. And you don't see any of the wood that you normally see in between the joints of a warforged. Everything apart his body is streamlined with layers with straps of rolled metal.
This one I trust.
Explaining that this is the Ark of Cogs, and currently you have been apprehended and are being taken to
I mean, we were going there anyways.
the Chamber of the Steel Rose. As you guys are talking about grammar, as you guys are being transported through the city, seeing a little bit more of the nightly life of the Warforged Nation Hartkern, the first thing that you pick up as you're walking through the streets, now that you're a little bit more sobered up, but still drunk, starting to get a little bit of that hammery nature to it of your body demanding liquids other than alcohol. The first thing that you didn't realize until this very moment is that even though the sun has completely left the sky, it is still there. The light, I mean.
I said the sun is still there?
No, not the sun, but the light. Sorry, I'm like, wrong music. Anyway, there are still light sources. And you're normal to gaslit lanterns or some sort of magical light source. But what you're not used to is lined streets with poles. These cylindrical poles that go up about 25, 30 feet, spaced out about 20 feet, that have very bright light that are at the very tops of it going vertically down in 4 directions in each direction. As you see giant, thick black cables connecting each one, just lining the entire street for each area that you are.
Galvanism. Huh.
I'm sorry,
What's that?
It's something that the gnomes were working on a few years ago. We tried stealing it. There was an effort to...
We tried?
You know...
Let's just not. Let's touch on that subject later.
Go on.
As you guys are transferred through... Oh, yes?
Just reminding that,
What is it?
what's her nut? The librarian trope.
Guinea!
That
Ginny?
wasn't her name, but
Wait,
that's
what?
what you
Quill.
called her.
Quinny!
Quill.
Quilly is what you were giving her the nickname, if I remember correctly.
Quill.
She is still there, and
She was asked by me to go retrieve Plant, so Plant does
she
not...
brought the plant actually over preemptively.
Okay, cool. And
The plant litter. Now I'm confused.
Plant is in backpack.
She left it at the tent originally when she went to run
Yeah.
across the
I'm
town,
up to speed.
Yep. Okay,
leaving
so,
Quill by herself, and just like, what?
but backpack on Plant.
Yeah.
Retrieve. Yeah. Okay, cool.
And you do have Charles
Yep,
Wolfington.
he was in the pocket.
Yeah,
That was not
he's still in the pocket. Currently taking a nap.
She willingly gave us the backpack, even though we're under arrest.
Yes.
That's encouraging.
It's questioning.
They have not taken any weaponry. They have not taken any bags.
I was gonna get there. I'm like, what are they taking? Because
They have
this
not
could be
taken
important.
anything, and they have not placed anything on you. But they are surrounding you, as there's about 20 Wolf Force soldiers that have proper shielding and what looks to be a blade arm of where their hand used to be. They're currently just keeping a 2-foot distance around you at this entire time, encasing you.
Is that the right music? Sounds like battle music.
I'm trying to change it.
There we go.
There we go.
That's better.
I've been pressing it.
I was gonna say, because we're not fighting.
Do you want to
Maybe
fight?
you're not.
Who's going to pull the first shot, huh? Is it going to be Mr. Hemingway?
Trigger happy.
Trigger.
happy.
Sitting there with a ray gun going.
Puts on a bandana.
Sun art.
My woman. Shinderu.
There we go.
This isn't a laughing matter, you know. Are we are we restrained in any
You
way?
are not restrained. They have
And he
not
just
placed
said they
on
didn't put anything as we're just
Nope.
walking.
Right.
You did not resist. You are currently being gathered towards the chambers of the Steel Rose as Ovan begins to speak, the four-armed caster. And you're currently being transported to the backer part of the city, and has currently been walking about 5-10 minutes and have not yet to stop walking. Gathering plenty of eyes' attention as you are now a mobile force, sandwiched in everything.
I'm gonna. So, the other person who's walking behind us is that other person with the guns.
The person that was a little trigger happy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The trigger happy. The trigger happy whack job. The other trigger happy.
As soon as you
whack job.
look behind him, you notice that there's a soldier in between you and the...
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
can I walk behind him?
Yeah, and you notice that there are two restraints on his arms, and his weaponry has been completely
You
taken off.
don't
of him.
say. Finally, some sensibility.
I mean, I didn't draw my weapon the whole time.
No, you did not.
So, I was the one being assaulted here. Just because I had a shield and he scratched my armor doesn't mean that I was the one who was in danger.
True. As the forearm caster begins to
is
speak.
drawing the
Right.
weapon the criteria for not being the problem? Because that means I'm not the problem most of the time. And
See,
you all
that's
react
just-
very differently.
That's just not
You,
true.
you wield very different
Given
types
the
of weapons.
situation at hand, since you were in possession of the Ark of Cogs, questions must be answered.
And answered there will be, hopefully. 'cause
Which is why we are not going to the local jailhouse. We are going to the Steel Rose.
Is that?
So
We-
what's
we
the
do
thing
have an
that we're
appointment.
being arrested
I'm confused.
Just keep your head down.
Oh, that's easy for you to say.
Well, we do have an appointment to keep it tomorrow morning.
I am very aware, which is why the council will be speaking to you before the trial.
Better?
Better? Worse? I'm
I don't
so
know.
confused.
It is a protocol we must uphold in times of uncertain loyalties.
Excuse me? What am I being arrested for other than knowing him?
Guilt by association.
So knowing
Savages.
him?
Yes.
Okay.
We've covered that.
The-
What's the thing that you're arresting him for?
I don't think we're
again?
being arrested. I think we're being
Questioned.
questioned.
Go with that.
Detained.
Let's do that.
We are not arrested. I think
We're being
detained.
detained for questioning.
One of those has a lot less severe penalties attached.
Because I was in possession of the Ark of Cogs, which apparently is a big deal that I still don't know anything about, aside of it being a very powerful
Until
artifact.
further notice.
Until
Do
further
not
notice.
mention the name any further.
Understood? Until,
Especially since we are passing the Church of the
And-
Perfecti.
because I was in possession of
The
that thing.
what?
The Church of the Perfecti.
Yes, I heard you. I'm sorry. What?
As he points towards the clock tower, as you guys are actually moving towards the main road that goes past this giant clock tower, hundreds of feet tall, that this triple layered, literally 1 clock, 2 clock, 3 clocks of just madness TikTok dreams that tells all sorts of different, I have it right here, of the actual, because now that you're getting closer to it, I didn't flip to the right page and beforehand.
What did you call it? The Church of the what?
Church of the Perfecti. Here we go. With your passive investigation in TikTok, this thing is overbuilt and then some. As you see various cogs and wheels that are turning on the outside, and then the whole thing is just ticking and ticking and ticking as you hear the gyros and the turning of the gears along with the spring activated mechanisms, as you see a 3-decker clock tower that tells the time for each 3, and then there's the additional layers of the immediate upcoming weather, the moon's orbit and local elemental planes position, along with the last one being types of mana storm if there is one coming. This thing is overbuilt and then
I think
some.
that would have been helpful, if you're getting dropped in the middle of the
Cities.
Yeah.
Yes. And at the base of it, you notice there's a gathering of people. You're seeing Warforged that are less dressed and wearing... all the Warforged here have always been putting something on their bodies of some sort of color or insignia or something on their bodies to make them unique so that they're easy to know who you're talking to. You start to see robed individuals. These robed individuals are wearing white and grays and blacks that are covering certain parts of their bodies. Even though they're normal Warforged, still armed, but Warforged, that cover mainly their heads, shoulders, and parts of their hips and lowers. And the rest of it, whatever, not aberration, but whatever advanced workings of their bodies that they have, whatever is most advanced on them, seems to be purposely presented, purposely held with high remark. And you start to see some sort of order or hierarchy based off of this, as you're seeing the people with some sort of cog-like halo that is attached to the upper part of their backs, so that when they're looking straight onto you, they have this cog-like halo around them, around their heads when they're looking towards you. And some of them are smaller, some are bigger, and others are more ornate, with the top parts cut off, so that's not a complete cog. And as you are walking by, all the soldiers seems to be not giving direct eye contact, even though their eyes seem to shift towards you, being the commotion of the nightly crew.
So since I was in possession of the item in question,
Can you
and
put it
you were
away
with
at
me,
least?
I don't hold
No,
it.
he doesn't have it.
He doesn't have it.
good.
It's been
At this
confiscated.
point, I'm wondering
Oh, it
if
was
even
taken, that's
gesturing
right.
in the rough shape is a good idea.
Because I was in possession of it and you were traveling with me, therefore that makes you gives probable cause. So they want to know what you know.
But you didn't tell me anything.
I didn't know anything about it, so there you go.
I didn't know it existed.
Good point. Use that.
I'm going to go with barbaric.
You guys
I'm
move.
I'm not really barbaric as
No,
Ek
this
is.
culture is barbaric.
No,
I
no,
didn't
you're
do
fine.
anything.
No. This culture is far from barbaric. Look, we are foreigners in their land, and yet, and these folk here have the ability, they have this mechanical magic to be able to apparently lay siege to entire countries, but they've done nothing but hide, and not in a way of, we are trying to hide and build and we're going to attack things. No, they're just wanting to be peaceful. And look at all the different races that are out here, and all of which seem to be getting along just fine, and then we come along.
There's a crazy man who has been outright stated to have done this repeatedly, and they let him keep doing the thing.
He's right there.
Yes, that's who I'm referencing.
I-
And
He's also the only one in bonds.
after repeated instances of having done destructive behavior, whereas I was asleep, woke up, came and stopped him from attacking anything, and held up my hands and did not attack anything, and I'm being equally questioned. This makes no sense.
Well,
You were here. You did something.
It's...
then
No, continue.
I-
Fine.
you have nothing to fear then, right?
I believe she is fear incarnate.
That's true. That's what I mean. Is that
I am not.
Right?
Close to it.
No, she outsources
I
that.
can make fear incarnate. Do you need some?
I'm certain the time will come. Not
Yeah,
anytime soon.
Keep the puppies on hold.
so? Yes, I understand, Nicholas, where you're coming from as far as being questioned when you feel you could probably be set free. But I think this will be something that we'll just share why we're here and what we intended to do and not intended to do, and they will let us go.
Smelling a lot of if coming off this plan. That's a lot of wishful thinking.
That's as far as I go. Planning things out is not my forte.
That's why you're a barbarian.
Did you
I
just
just
say you
do.
think that dogs are fear incarnate?
Aren't they?
Oh, sweetness. No.
I'm gonna shoot her.
Yes. Just make it look like an accident. A really big accident.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
look, she accidentally fell down an elevator shaft onto some bullets.
We are still surrounded.
And a grenade.
Almost remember.
Yes. Can we not use our outside voices? This is not helping our case.
You're outside. How do you have a not outside voice when you're outside?
People are listening.
She's so
This does not come off as nice.
We
She's
are
so
outside.
smart sometimes.
Well, look. We'll have you represent us.
Our advocate. I believe in you.
To be fair, I was the one carrying the item in question, so yes.
And we were just attempting to
I was attempting to
Let
find
buildings
information on
blow
it.
up.
were attempting to help.
resolve the fact that our acquaintance of
This might be very important. So I'm gonna walk, as I'm gonna walk a little closer to Spark and start like, you need to spruce up your look a little bit, I think. And I'm gonna start to like put like little chains and like little decorative things and maybe some arcane marks on him. And what I'm actually doing is casting enhanced ability for charisma. I am prepping that because
Please do.
Yeah, we're gonna need that roll.
Okay, and you're just casting out of the blue, right? Surrounded by guards.
I mean, I'm not making a secret of it, but I'm trying to help him out.
When you begin to start doing it, and as soon as you place the first arcane mark onto it, the soldiers start to flinch towards you, and you hear it snap, and they all go back straight.
That's right.
Oh, because they already know what you're casting.
The spell goes through.
They know what you're casting.
So you enjoy that.
He looks
rather,
glorious.
he looks rather resplendent.
I am purely radiant. I hate myself.
As you should. The person who's the spell person.
The
one who's-
four-armed individual.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're the one who's leading us. Excuse me. Can I have a construct that I would just like to bring out. Can I do that right now?
He takes a moment as he turns around with his mask that is only showing the slight slant of eyes that are glowing through. Are you referring to one of the clockwork familiars?
Yes.
No. Those things are mechanized war machines. It stays in the control collar.
Well, my bag is heavy.
Here.
They
Oh,
come-
I'll carry it.
Roll a persuasion at disadvantage.
It's what I do. I carry things.
You are the Pac-Man.
15 is the lower.
Some people think I carry a lot of baggage.
Ha 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 ha.
Kinda
You
do.
said persuasion?
Mm-hmm.
That would be a modified 20.
He takes a moment.
What the hell?
At disadvantage.
Yeah.
Sorcerer's
15
man.
was the lower number.
At disadvantage. Wow.
That's pretty good.
He's just looking you up and down, and for a moment he studies you. If you wish us to carry your bags, then we will.
If you're worried about weaponry, you don't want to carry my bag. We'll continue on as we are.
That is why I am here. He
I mean-
begins to continue forward.
You can
I think I covered this.
Shoots out, comes back in.
I think I covered this at the end of last.
The guard just...
I think I covered this at the end of last session, but I definitely want to put Hemingway away.
Yeah, I think you already did that.
I think I did too,
Yeah.
but I do want to be clear because I may need help.
Yeah, I think you did that last episode.
I'm pretty sure that you already
You
did.
sent him away.
You had mentioned about to the DM here. You had mentioned about the sun is not present, but the glow light still exists.
Yes, there are street
Street
lamps,
lamps.
essentially.
Oh.
A little bit more steampunky and stuff like that. Instead of like a, it bowls out kind of deal, it is just a steel pole that goes up with vertical lines in each direction that are just concentrated beads of light that are shooting out light. Along with a thick black wire that connects to each one.
Oh yes, that's right.
That might be useful later.
Bite down on it. It's
The
gonna.
wire.
Why? How?
Because it's electrified.
What's that?
What?
Galvanism. Am I the only... No?
You're the only person that knows
All right.
this.
Pass an investigation. Yeah, you would know that. I said pass an investigation. Yeah, you.
Galvanism?
I'll explain it. But it's
Is that like a religion?
in a weird sort of way, yeah.
We'll have to talk about this later. This seems like a topic of great interest. So is it a religion?
I think they'd be offended if I said yes.
Who are they?
Yes.
I've tried to get a lot out of him. He's really a brick wall. I break brick walls down.
They don't
You're not helping.
normally shoot back.
Boards don't be back.
So I'm. Do we have an idea of how we're going to? What you're going to say?
I don't know what it is. I just know it's the item. I was told not to mention
He's
it again.
going to say that it's entirely his fault.
If I know Spark
'Cause it
at all,
is.
he's going to tell the truth. We need to prepare for that eventually.
I know where I found it. I know where it was. It felt familiar, so I took it. It was in an abandoned vault.
You are not in trouble for having it or finding it.
If anything, this is probably the best place to have it because they know what it is.
Correct. Which is why we are treating it with such caution.
I have found that people who know what things are for and how dangerous they are typically are the most dangerous to have.
It's better than the tempered eye to have it.
Very much so. As he continues on, clearly away from the actual tower itself, and as you guys were talking,
No telling where Mr. Shooty should have taken it.
number of buildings have been gradually thinning as the transfer from construction and industrial and civilization turns into more of a gentle wilderness, but trimmed and maintained, almost as if you're entering a royal garden. But as you approach this giant, impossibly big steel construct dragon, as you're approaching this still sleeping, that's loud. This still sleep. I got it. This still sleeping force of a war machine that is currently propped up, ever so slightly elevated from the rest of the city itself, on a natural ridge of the mountain base.
I've got a bad feeling
Does
about
it-
this.
Can I tell if it's still functional?
Make an investigation check.
Like,
Or a
if it-
perception check,
Is it
either
still
or.
activated?
Hard to say. You do not see any lights apart from the ones that are at its base.
Investigation?
Yes. Or a perception. Either one will work.
Don't want.
Breathe. Don't
And a perception. So that'd be a 16.
How you die.
16. As you look forward, it's still several hundred feet away from you, as you are now approaching the main walkway towards this giant steel creature. You start to notice that the stone around it, that it was lifting it up, its entire body up as its base it's sitting on. Its tail wrapped around in a way that is almost making a valley protected that is inside its protected ring, as its head is curled around, sitting like a sleeping cat, watching the entire city. But no lights, no movement, no grand shifting of plates. And you start to notice that as you guys get closer and closer, you start to see the stone that it's propped on has been carved away and replaced with steel walls or stone pillars, almost making an entire manor of where it's sitting, making it its rooftop. And you start to see bus, totem-like bus, to the right and left of you. As now all of you become aware of this, as you start to see 1 bus, 2 bus, 5 bus, 100 buses,
Bust.
mixed in.
Are you saying the vehicle?
Bust.
Okay.
No, bust.
Yeah, sorry, bust-I.
Just a
Busty.
Busty. Language. But carved out representations of the upper torsos of Warforged, mixed into this royal-ish garden area in front of this creature. As you start to see, in various states of repair, morgues of standing representation of the fallen to the left and right of you as you continue forward.
Okay, so here, if these are statues of Warforged,
They're not full statues.
that's my question. Like,
Yeah.
at what point, because a Warforged is at
Well,
some level an artificial
only the-
construct.
Correct.
It's only the bust, right?
Yeah,
So
it's
carved in
the,
stone.
it's like from here up.
It's-
Yeah. Well, I guess what I'm asking is, okay, so yes, I understand what this is supposed to be, but are we sure that these aren't the top halves of Warforged?
Make an investigation check.
They're stone, right?
Are they?
All of you have dark vision, which definitely helps with this. So make a perception/investigation check.
I mean, also, we've already encountered
19.
things that were once living that then became stone. So,
Fair.
That is true.
19.
Investigation,
19?
That becomes 22.
22. Okay, with the combination of you, as your attention is now diverted to these, they're not really busts, but they're like almost like a totem pole with a combination of a bust. So it's a little bit more narrow, and it's carved out with a single pillar of stone or wood. depending
So
on
it is a
the-
carving.
So it is definitely carvings.
Okay.
You don't see like pinned up representations of these doll things, but it was definitely a good question. But no, you just see statue after you see bust after bust after bust after bust of what you understand is people that lost their lives in either the War of the Burning Lands or those that sacrificed themselves for this city. And then you hit the entrance of this structure, as now you're at the lip of this shelf of where the dragon sleeps. But at where the stone has been replaced by an actual stone and metal reinforced building that opens up with the tail that is curling around at the top of it, acting the roof at the topper of the roof, or the front part of it at least, as it opens up with this heavy steel door. As you see an entire the style of the Warforged has always been simplistic, always been functional in design. This one is nothing less of no difference of it. However, you see a manor that has been carved out of the stone itself, with a small pocket at the center of it where you can walk across, where the tail swoops around and seems to be protecting this circled courtyard, so to speak. And then you see the stone and reinforced steel manor that has a ever so slightly flair of the Warforged root-like appearance that is the wooden structure inside of Warforged that are making up the walls and the steels and the stone pillars that have been etched with it. as this thing sits where it is, the entire manor that used to be the shelf where it lays has been carved out and been made the roof of this manor. Instead of heading straight forward, you guys begin to veer off to the left, being forced by the guards. Not like physically forced, but, guided. Where there are another series of buildings that are... Yeah, you're being herded. A series of buildings that have been worked into the stonework itself, and the door opens with one of them. As you see hallways lit up very brightly, with these lines of just pretty much like LED lights across the entire roof of this hallway that are going down, lining the entire hallway all the way from the roof.
This place is impressive.
The caster turns around. This is the chamber of the Steel Rose. Please be respectful.
So I should save my questions for later.
You can ask your questions anytime.
No, you said to be respectful, and he's told me that I should save my questions.
She's
for
right.
later.
To be fair, she's absolutely right.
As you wish. Your rooms are right over here, as he guides you inward. Some of the soldiers staying outside of the door itself.
Rooms? Not cells, rooms.
You have not done anything personally that has been against the Hartkun's nation's laws and rules.
So glad you feel that way.
But questions need to be answered, as we said before.
Free lodging.
Didn't we already pay for a night at the hotel anyway?
Yes.
Moving on.
Free better lodging.
Free better lodging. Upgrade. Free upgrade.
What's inside?
You guys are led to a corridor that has been properly furnished and everything. And these are definitely not, like you're putting it into the slammer kind of deal. It looks like almost like a house that is meant for far-traveling individuals or for people that have been traveling for a long way and need to speak to higher authorities and are currently need protection at the same time. As you find yourself equally wide, as everything's definitely wider here to actually allow people to go through for like your bus and your bust, Sparks and Eck. You find yourselves looking each room's that one person per room along that is lined an entire hallway. These ornate wooden doors that have been hard to say if it's been grown or has been carved in such a way to look root-like in its nature, and the doors are open all at the same time with a flare of the wrist with one of the hands of the caster, and all the doors. And you find inside a heavy bed, like a massive heavy bed for each one, in this about 10 foot by 15 foot room for each person. You find a working desk and also a heavy steel chair that has been padded and everything, but is able to hold heavier things. Along with a thin, viewing window. It doesn't actually have glass, but it's just one of those. It's been carved out of the stone wall so that it's able to look up towards wherever this light might be, and it's only about 3 inches tall and about 3 feet wide.
And as long as you don't know polymorph.
Wow.
These will be your quarters for tonight. If you have any questions, knock on the door and me, will come to you.
It's true, they don't sleep, do they? That's...
We do not.
The type of sleep.
Well,
I think this is a very nice gilded cage.
you think so? Well, it certainly beats one with thick bars.
The council at the Temper Thought shall meet you in the morning, about 10 o'clock, specifically. Followed by, if it is still needed, the trial of Snare. There will be food provided, free of charge.
Excellent. Excellent. We all have to be in our own separate room, I guess. Well,
You're still, plastered, by the way.
oh, good. Well, I have some water.
Yep, there's water inside the room and everything.
Good.
Taken care of. Is there anything you guys wish to do before entering the room, or are you not going to enter the room, or?
I'll go in the room.
I'll go in.
Okay.
I'll go into one of the rooms. I want to check the room, like thoroughly, like check walls, check check the bed, check.
As soon as you enter, the doors close, and you hear a locking of the door behind you. Right now, Nicholas is the only one that has not entered yet.
Gilded cage.
What's allowed to be done while in this room?
As long as you remain inside the room until further notice. I do not see anything wrong with it.
Alright. Are there... Will you know what's done? Do you listen? Do you watch?
I have come to the understanding, especially dealing with other nations, that we are always watched.
She sighs very heavily and, like, forces herself across the threshold, like, visibly uncomfortable. And, as soon as she gets in there, she calls out her clockwork familiar.
As this ball of a 1,000-legged ball with the dome unfolds from a ball shape into a 1,000-legged monstrosity of ticking clockwork components and gears turning, and turns his body. The door closes behind you and locks.
I wake up Charles, set him down, and say, I don't know what tomorrow entails, but you'll probably want to sleep then. Like, I'll detect thoughts and, like, convey this in Sylvan to
What?
make sure that he's got full understanding.
What?
So, tomorrow is going to be a lot of sitting and a lot of arguing with very, very confusing people. You might want to get out energy now.
Okay. And he goes right on the bed and starts like playing with the pillows and starts shaking it with his mouth. It starts going onto the floor, and then he it goes onto the floor. It goes into the drinking bowl, puts his head in, shakes his head a little bit, and then you hear and he's gone.
I'm like in the room. We need to stay in here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to, with the clockwork familiar, how specific do I need to be? Can I just entertain him, pointing at Charles?
Turns around to Charles.
Turns into a ball.
Roll a charisma check with this nightmarish
Death
creature.
ball.
As this thing just turns around with the chicken skull wedged in between where its head would be between these dome-plated rolling steel ball.
You said charisma?
Yes.
Okay, that's a 24.
How did they get a 24? Its charisma is...
It's or mine?
No, it's charisma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's still a 14.
Okay, so as Charles just stops and just got... and then suddenly, as it just jumps up the Grimstalker and sucks into all its body parts and becomes a steel ball of bent plates and starts rolling around.
With the exceptional feathers sticking out
Yep.
of it. Of course.
Pretty much. That is currently just going flap, 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 flap. As Charles at first is like, what the hell is that thing? And then goes, feather. And starts chasing it.
And then I'm down for the night.
Okay.
I'm going to try the bed for a change.
Okay. Make an investigation check since you're tossing the room, by the way. Okay. The bed holds you just fine. It has some give, but after your X amount of weight, it's still pretty
Like
heavy.
500 pounds.
Yeah.
7 foot
But
tall of solid steel and dwarven hide.
But most beds break under your weight. It is just fine with this one.
18.
18? Okay, you don't find anything particular and eye-catching in terms of, like, oh, this is a listening device, or that is going to kill me, or as you're going from, as you flip the bed, as you go through every drawer desk of the drawer, and you're going underneath the table, and you're going underneath the actual chair itself, and you get to the little small window, and you're like, oh, there's no bars. You could just easily, and then you look and you see just a hint, a little, almost like a wobble. And you're like, you're not quite sure what you saw, but you saw like some sort of like distortion of the image of the outside.
Alright, I'm gonna walk over to the bed,
Hmm?
pick up one of the pillows, wedge it up into the gap that opened the light. Just wedge that sucker up there.
Easy enough.
And I'm gonna take the bedding off of the bed, just whip it off and throw it into a corner and grab a pillow and set that on top of it. And I'm gonna prop myself up in one of the like leaned up in one of the corners.
Towards the window.
Right. No, not just towards the window, but like Laura, I can see the window and the door, so I can see the whole damn room.
Yeah. So it's a rectangular room, and the door's over here, and the window's over here.
Okay, then I will prop myself up in a corner that's close to the door.
Okay. Easy enough.
Okay. Reach into my backpack, pull out my oversized fish bowl, and fill it with Hemingway.
A little bit of water.
Set that over near the bed.
Set that over near the bed.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I need, we ought to get like an actual fish bowl.
Done.
Set it up and prop myself up on the pillows and.
Pretty easy, especially after what you've drank. All right, and
I dig into my pouch, my one of my packs, pull out this piece of cloth and go.
bunch of dust. Oh, never mind. That cloth.
Wow! The entire room practically fills up with
Yep.
a giant hole. My portable shithole.
And didn't you fill that up with water, if I remember correctly?
I can't hold that much water, can it?
No, it's 500 pounds of water is not a lot.
Then...
No, I wanted to. It's just
Actually, no. I think portable holes don't have weight limits.
If they don't have a weight limit, that'd be fantastic.
I didn't know.
At that point, it's a portable swimming pool. Just
Let me double check.
I do know that we decided that didn't happen and he just went and slept in the river.
Yeah, it didn't mention weight in my.
Yeah, last time I checked, portable holes don't have weight limits.
Well,
Really?
maybe.
If they don't have a weight limit, fantastic. I thought they had a 500-pound weight limit.
Right.
a bag of holding certainly does.
I
yeah,
know
bag
that
of
does.
holding does.
Yeah. If you're watching live, type it now.
No, it doesn't have weight limits.
Look at that.
Yeah, so you can fill it up with water. So if you open it up under water, it fills with water.
Part was I was trying to figure out whether or not we could.
What do you have in there?
Yeah.
A swimming pool, obviously.
Yes. Mostly it's empty. But
It's just water.
it's got extra crates and stuff. It's just basic storage.
As long as it's waterproof,
Things
they're fine.
to sleep in. It feels more at home, like being in the swamps.
It's probably colder.
But so, and then I knock on the door and say, "Can you bring some water and some food? Lots of water, lots and lots of water."
So 3 gallons of water later, they go, okay, that's enough.
Well, that's gonna work.
I've got decanted endless water.
And then the forearm caster comes over, pops his head over, is like, yes.
I'm just trying to make myself comfortable, and all I have is 3 gallons of water. Look, it's like a piss in my bag.
As you just kind of toss it into the portable hole. He gives a small chuckle and goes, all right. And
Yeah, you got your decanter on this water.
he puts his arm out vertically on one of the lower arms, and you hear, and suddenly something unfolds as you see paper. As paper upon paper upon paper, and he begins to chant something. Let me double check something.
freaking caster.
Yeah, he's like,
Oh, conjure food and water.
It only does. Conjure food and water doesn't do volume either. You can do a 5-foot cube, I think, with create water or something.
I think create food and water.
no, he can't do create food and water because that's a cleric.
Oh, it's cleric. That's right.
Yeah.
But
It creates like 500 gallons of water though.
no, it doesn't create that much.
Like 50, I think.
Ah,
Something
no,
like that.
so-
It's enough for 12 people.
Fine. You don't have to. I was just. Never mind. I'll fill it up later.
Unfortunately, what I had in mind as he started reading cannot do that. And he's looking at like a very long spell.
Take
No, that's all right. I'll just take some food. Food
it is.
I don't
And
care as long as it's got meat in it.
It'll probably take a long while to fill that thing decanter down this water.
They get you some lamb,
Oh, wow.
properly roasted, probably left over for whatever who was consuming it. Decent enough. But for the amount of water that you need, that's going to take all night to fill.
Yeah.
And you
All right,
can
that's fine.
feel your head already bobbing.
I climb down into the hole after I finish off my lamb
Your slightly
And-
damp hole.
and go to sleep.
Easy enough. Over the night, as you enter your meditation state, nothing disturbs you. You wake up naturally over the course of the long rest. So you level up, and you level up. So congratulations as you
Yay!
finish your
Whoa.
long rest. And followed by both of you with hammering headaches from a hangover. So
Oh, God! So you sit up and Hemingway's over in the corner pre-shaking the Bloody Mary. You don't know where he got tomato juice, but there's a can. Like
Yeah, he's already got the This is routine.
Who has a hangover?
This guy.
Yeah,
And,
Okay.
and Eck.
Okay.
You do
It's
not.
like,
You did not.
I didn't get drunk.
No.
I went like I den mothered during that situation.
You were watching the kids. One of them they had an octopus.
You were the nanny.
There's
Yep.
so many spell slots.
Must be nice.
Drake, as soon as when you're beginning to do your morning preparations,
So like lay the guns out and the gears and all the equipment out on the bed, which I've stripped of sheets, so now it's just
It's a metal table.
It's a table, right? So putting it all together and sticking, loading stuff into the backpack. And thank you, Hemingway. You're a gentleman.
you hear at your door.
It's open, I think.
There's a hesitation, and you hear, and you see a very familiar, dull-faced, rounded-edged, hooded and glassed individual of Quill.
Quinny!
Hi, I was wondering if you were still, ready to do that study session. I brought some snacks. And she opens up the door completely, and there's like a tea set full of like desserts and other cookies and stuff like that, and a freshly brewed pot of tea.
I don't.
You got a freaking girlfriend.
That's right. I've got a hangover. It's okay. Sure. Come on in.
Just
She
accept
steps in, places the tea on the desk itself, and the
So
door closes.
the gun, the arcane, the
Arcane
firearm
yeah.
gets set right in front of me, like very much within hand distance. Like, I have so many questions. How the hell did she get in here?
I'm a scribe. Think of me as a lawyer.
Ah,
I'm actually.
I'm not sure that improves the situation.
I'm not on duty right now, so I brought some special tea.
May I
You might like this tea.
Our first girlfriend.
I'm sticking with something a little hard, a little more intense.
Which is why I know it's special tea, because I know you're tired.
You got a freaking battery operated girlfriend.
Shut up, you're not there.
I appreciate the thought. If it's all the same to you, may I offer you something? I mean,
What does he bring out?
oh, I don't know, like the bar kit, like.
You know those coin dispensers at the at the arcade? I just imagine that version, but for like alcohol stuff.
Exactly.
It's a whole bandolier.
Yeah, there you go.
He comes out, he burbles, he looks her up and down, one eye stalk, then the other, and then he makes a mimosa and hands it to her.
There you go.
Please, sit.
She sits down. Are you in the chair?
No, I'm still in front of the bed doing
Oh,
my
okay.
morning
Yeah,
stuff.
she sits down in the chair. You also notice that there's about a stack of 5 books on the actual tray itself, as she brought some books as well.
Okay.
So, sorry about last night.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
So, do you have any questions, or do we want to just open up some books and just... It's been a while.
Crack the books.
Okay.
I'm gonna load this up.
Okay.
I have no... What did I agree to? I have no memory of this at all.
So about awkward 10 minutes later, as you continue loading your arsenal, as she opens
like
up
Hangover.
a couple of books, which I have the list of actual books available if you
happened?
want it. But
You woke up at jail suddenly you're married to a warforged.
I'm
Hangover.
so confused.
What happens in her turn stays in her turn.
she, even though you don't see her face, as you see the line of primordial around her trimming of her actual hood, she takes off her mask, and you see a very, dare I say, feminine-looking face of a warforged, and you see the lower jaw that actually moves when she actually speaks and everything. She has a proper mouth, a little bit of a flatter face, and high cheekbones. That is almost like she's very thin. She places her glasses back on. So, you drank a lot last night. Are we still okay to have that study session since you have more books? We don't get a lot of books here.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Now this is all making sense. Yes, absolutely. Hemingway.
I also had a question as well.
What's your question?
First of all, I'm a little awkward at this kind of thing. I've never been good at this, as she motions between her and him. Why do you call me by a different name than what I call myself? I came off a little, maybe, rude maybe, but I don't know why it just hit me that way, but I just wanted to know why the name change?
It's a familiarization designed to throw you off your guard, throw you off your game, make you question things, make you think a little harder. I'm in an unknown foreign territory.
That was surprisingly direct.
You're here, you brought the tea.
Fair point. Anyway, thank you. Good to know. Is there anything you need help with these notes, by the way?
Well, that depends. How familiar are you? Ooh, maybe I have had too much drink. How familiar? I can't do it even when I'm thinking about it. How familiar are you? There it is. With the Illithid kinesthetic language.
Oh. And she's like taking out some quills and notes of paper and stuff like that. Not much. I know a little bit about their history and stuff like that, and also I don't know what is known and unknown for outside of Heartturn. So hard to say. We could definitely give it a whack.
Mr. Hemingway, if you would please. Hemingway will walk over and like open up a bag and start pulling out stone tablets.
Yeah.
That's about right.
And I'm continue loading up my arsenal.
Okay. Here it is. Drawers are nice. Don't worry, all this will come later. Alright. So you finish up your arsenal, no problem whatsoever, as it's maybe about 8 in the morning.
What am I doing awake?
They make one of those?
You mean there are 2 of those every day?
What?
There's 2 8 o'clocks
2 8
every day.
o'clocks.
Yeah. Are you participating with the study exchange, or are you just giving her the notes?
Absolutely. No, yeah, absolutely. I'm just as curious what's on those tablets as anyone else.
Okay. In that case, make a. It was a. Make a investigation check. Now it is going to be a little harder as it's no longer in the web of strings, so to speak. Stringed web as it's connected from one paper to another, but it is still all there for you to read.
That's a 20, so total 28.
28. Okay.
You also get to add that. When you
Well-
roll on 20s, don't you?
Oh, right. House roll.
Oh, you rolled a natural 20?
I rolled a natural 20.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, that's a little different. Okay. Okay. So, all right.
5 plus
There's.
8,
32.
33.
Let me specify. There's the stone tablets that were near the skulls and stuff like that. There was the pile of books and stone tablets, and then there's the desk that had all the research notes and everything.
Oh, no. The research notes are my problem. We're
Okay.
going to stick with the books and the tablets.
So I know which ones you're looking for. Okay. So the pile of books that were just, haphazardly thrown to the corner and just kind of had no rhyme or reason as far as you could tell, are all anatomy, all diseases, illnesses, and dissections. For natural 20, you get additional information. I'll say that from this pile alone, though you're not quite sure which ones he was specifically going through. And then you remember there's a little trick about books. If you take a book and throw it, it can sometimes open up to the page that has been most opened.
Oh, I like that.
And you're like, oh. And you take one of the books and you start doing it. And most of them are about diseases. About diseases that pertain about reproduction.
About what?
Reproduction.
Wait. Reproductive diseases or...
Diseases that pertain about transferring through reproduction.
Okay.
Inherited diseases?
Possible inherited diseases, but that seems to be the main focus of what you...
Or how diseases reproduce.
There's a little bit of that, but mostly of diseases that pertain
Hereditary.
about reproductive organs and transferring through reproductive organs.
Hereditary.
Are you saying hereditary, or are you saying like
I never
ovarian
said-
cancer?
Hmm?
Are you saying like ovarian cancer, how that pertains to reproductive organs, or are you saying something that
Or
passes?
like,
Oh, see,
or
I'm
like,
thinking
or like
STDs.
DD. Yeah,
Yeah,
STDs,
it's more like STD
Okay.
states kind of deal.
Except, I don't believe that any mind flayer would be so bored as to worry about giving, chlamydia to the world. Like this isn't gonna be that pleasant.
Right.
No, and on the diseases that seem to be... This is the pile that... This is what you get, and you're trying to connect the dots, and you're like, why is he studying these kind of things? You're not quite sure.
Because taking a couple of steps back out in the wild, and for the audience who wasn't there for this episode, so we ran into this mind flayer, and this mind flayer, who obviously was studying reproductive transmission and diseases, also had this whole thing where he had these baby mind flayers in his subterranean lake that he couldn't get out and couldn't treat.
They weren't mind flayers.
They weren't mind flayers, they were
big
giant-
giant slug type things.
Isn't that like the
tadpole?
the
They were
first-
tadpoles, yeah. They were
Giant.
overgrown tadpoles.
Right, but isn't that like the first gestational period of the...
Correct. Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's also where we found the goblin chicken goblin.
It's also where we found Nico, yes. So, no, but this guy is looking for a new way to propagate the Illithid race.
Potentially,
And we let them go!
if feel like this is another situation where we doesn't apply. There was an executive decision made amidst much panic.
Okay, and they were let go. If I can take the passive voice
Yeah.
approach to that, since we're on the grammatical kick this
Yeah.
time.
But-
can we say oops?
Oops.
So
Again,
Quill starts talking because
but
Right, I'm not going to say any of this.
and for the audience's sake, he also had been playing around with the other transmission methods because he had taken over the lizardy type people.
Right, he'd
and
done the brain melding. He'd done this
Yes.
guy was interested in propagating his race outside of the confines that is normally established for. Oh,
With the natural-
that's bad. That's bad.
Yep.
and Quill
That's
even
why I
brings
went
this
like
up.
this, because I figured that out.
Danger,
I'm
Will
not
Robinson.
We're gonna have to deal with that later on.
Do not want.
We'll go
you
back and
say
deal with
any,
that.
sorry, just
No,
remind myself.
none of the, no. At one point, flip over reproductive diseases, huh? And the second book, virus transmission. This third book, illithid. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And Quill's face mask on the actual table itself. Are you okay? You've
No.
gone a little white.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tell me, Quinny, how do you? Quill, what do you know about mind flayers? Illithids, specifically.
She takes out a couple of notes.
Because that's could refer to several things. The illithid race.
I know.
Because you're a mind flayer. Let's fucking face it.
Who are you talking to?
She is.
As you're pointing towards the wall.
All right, go on.
Into the cell next to
Right,
you.
because that's a mind flayer. Moving on.
She takes a few moments. I know quite a few things, as mind flares are, bad for any sources of life apart from actual mind flares itself. So,
that is so derivative.
I mean, in what terms? What part? Are you talking about the reproductive organs? Are you talking about how they live as a society? Or are you talking about like fighting force?
None of the above. This merits further investigation.
I agree. You also didn't explain why you went pale.
I had a bad run-in with a mind flayer recently, and this line of research gives me pause.
Are there any other notes from there?
Yes, but not here. I would have to get out of this place.
I see. Okay. She looks around. Okay. If you need a quiet place, I have a personal study. If you need a place.
That might be very useful. Except, yeah, no, totally. I don't trust her. God,
There you
I don't
go.
trust her as far as I can throw her.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm not saying that out loud. But
Well, she sees the conflict in your face and everything, as you're not the most deceptive of individuals. I'm sorry.
Private
I mean,
study. Yeah. It's got velvet curtains.
You're just jealous.
she brings out a fly swatter. Yeah. Well, there isn't anything I can say. I understand the nature of the deception of, well, the Empire. No one can trust anyone, and that's a terrible way to live. Well, I hope you can trust me one day. Till then, thank you for letting me read the books.
thank you for the tea.
You drank it? Oh. You're welcome.
It's got a love potion in it.
I don't care what it's got in it. Not a prayer in hell.
You
But
freaking battery operated.
She takes one of the cups and sips it. herself before placing back her mask and putting up her hood. Good luck with the council.
Is there anything I should know?
Well, you've mentioned the tempered eye, and you came from the Empire, and you have a certain look about you.
That's racist.
No, I'm talking about you don't trust anyone.
I'm Verosian. Do you know anything about the Verosian Empire?
I know extensively about the Verosian Empire.
I tell you what.
Now, their inner workings is a mess, but, you know.
Tell you what. Exercise of trust.
Okay.
Hemingway.
He's been going through the papers and just currently holding a couple of souls.
No, pack it all up. Pack it all up.
He just got the last bit
Start
of it.
stuffing everything back in the bag. Take the bag. Take Hemingway. Take him to your study. And let's hope that we see the other side of this.
Roll a persuasion check.
Absolutely. He's trying to get that out of there.
I am. I totally am. And I'm going to use my... What is that?
That is a 2.
Oh,
That is a bad roll, is what that is.
That's a 3. That's a grand.
I mean, you are asking her to go against her nation.
Yep.
She kind of just ponders for a moment. A little harder now to understand what she is thinking.
Right, I'm staring at a face mask.
Yeah, in the face mask, now you understand, oh, that's pretty handy.
Yep. No emotion. You can't read.
I understand that you don't want certain information to get to the wrong people, but I can't go against protocol this much. I've already broken it enough. I really hope that you're not the same as others that have come before you. I really hope, as you actually, well, you speak to me. The others don't. And plus, you have weird... Of the others that come before you, you have weird company, which is also gives me hope as well.
I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. And she goes to the door, tries to open. A few moments later, hi. And then there, she's eventually let out. The doors are closed behind you.
It's after dawn, correct?
It is.
I would like to check for messages and send one.
Going to send you a message, as there's no messages as of late.
To the crystal memory space connection that I have.
Okay.
I need to tell them what to look for because they found Nicole, but I had a more important message to send.
Okay. Who found Nico again? It was
It was the
Aaron. Aaron, no.
Aeronet didn't.
No. Okay.
It's the place that I used to work where they take memory and crystallize it.
Oh, okay.
So the people who had also found the spirit that became the flower, it's those
Yeah.
guys. So I'm communicating with them, and I'm letting them know what to look for within the memory, and that it needs to be given, like that information needs to be given to Aeronet. They need to be looking for mind player tactics of torture and mental extraction.
Specific. Understood. The message is sent. There is no initial reply.
Okay.
Going to roll a D100 as it is going through planes again. It has a 5% chance.
I thought that was for memories, not for the messages.
The message spell still has to do the same thing.
Okay, we have not been rolling that consistently.
And I've been bad on that.
45.
45, you're good. Alright, the message is sent.
Cool.
You should get a reply, hopefully in the near future.
Okay. And
Apart from
then-
that, you have a sleeping Charles.
Yeah.
Currently just kind of laying on the bed. Just,
I'm going to put away my clockwork familiar,
okay.
so it returns back to the collar, and then I'm going to pick up Charles, and I'm going to knock on the door.
Few moments. You see the robed, four-armed caster.
He needs to pee.
There's a moment of hesitation and points towards the chamber pot in the corner.
It's a dog.
Roll the persuasion check. He hasn't said anything, but his current you can tell that there's turning.
The gears are turning.
Yeah, the gears are turning right now.
That's an 18, so that becomes a 23.
Very well. And he steps back away from the door, allowing you space to move.
Okay. I step out in the direction door.
He points down the hallway of where it needs to go.
Okay. So, take him outside,
Hmm?
wake him up, like, go to the bathroom, eat.
He doesn't even open his eyes and just kind of lifts up and does his business. As you're now in the courtyard that is now actually has light in it now, and you notice that the courtyard here, though a little bit more road-wise, it's been bricked and maintained so that it has an ability to have more carriages and stuff that come in. There is a distinct need, if that's the right word, of various planters and plants that have been worked into the sidelines and then purposely flowing up the walls of these more viney constructs of the actual working itself, as if they're trying to combine physical steel structures with living material.
With having walked out and come into the courtyard, can I tell, like, are there any windows that are the rooms of my companions?
From where how it's built, no. In spatial awareness, you know that it would be nowhere near here.
Okay.
You don't even need the roll for that.
Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Would that be worth it?
You do notice that the four-armed caster is currently just monitoring you.
Right. Yeah, none of it's worth it. So with that, I'm going to just be good little person and pick up. Is he fully emptied?
Make an animal handling check. It is a puppy.
Is he fully emptied?
Yeah. Squeeze and find out.
Question.
I've had dogs before. 17.
17. He seems properly relieved.
Being a courteous guest, I would like to point to any defecation that he made and say, "Excuse me, I don't have. It needs to be cleaned up. It's right here."
You see a hunched over individual that almost looks like a granny version of a warforged as it turns around as the various parts of its body that have stone and other woodwork has been slightly muddled and grayed away. Not sure if it's age or due to some sort of other type of damage. It just kind of looks over and goes, "Nah," and starts to move towards it. Puts his hand down as his hand quite literally gets folded in on itself as you see a little nozzle and then a small little turn of fire.
No, I agree with that. That's solid.
And about
Just
the
sterilize it.
smell is terrible.
Just sterilize it.
Yeah, and a few moments later, the turn of fire stops, and it's pretty much just powdered, as he just kind of stomps it and pushes it into the somewhat charred remains of the plantery. And
Which will grow back.
Yeah, good fertilizer.
With that, I pick up Charles, put him in my pocket, walk back inside, and like stop and that kind of like head tilt grotesque smile at the magey type person. Thank you for your hospitality, and then go back.
Make an insight check. Because he has one of those masks on that is making it hard to discern what he's thinking.
That is a 16.
16. The creeped out version doesn't come out, but you get the sense of if the mask could crack a smile, it could. As you pass by him, as he just watches you go inside. And you hear a small right.
I want to like stop before going into my room and just kind of stand there.
The forecaster stops behind you. Is there a problem?
It's the next day and we're supposed to be leaving, so I don't necessarily understand why I need to continue to be confined as long as I continue to be an exemplary guest.
You were never confined, and you know it.
Thank
I
you.
don't.
As you hear an echo from the door.
She's lying to you!
He tilts his head. Please understand of your caliber. These simple doors are not enough to hold you. You are not contained. You are currently being...
If I'm not being contained, then what's the difference?
What would be the right word? It escapes me at this time, but not Kingdom Voice Wait. You are a forced guest. Please understand that your representation is noted.
There's a certain amount of inconsistency in the way that things are being handled here, and that has also been noted.
Understood. But they shall continue.
How long do we remain confined as forced guests?
He rolls up his sleeve. As you see a small little twisting knob on his wrist. He doesn't touch it, but it's just continually, like, slowly turning. Roughly an hour. After the council speaks to you and find it that is non-risky for the people of Hartlequin for you to dwell with it, then you are no longer needing to be forced contained or forced guests.
Yes, let's be honest, with the lack of containment. With that, flick her hair as she walks in, and she is going to convert all of her first level spell slots into sorcerer points.
Whoosh!
Wow.
As you enter the room, as all the shadows from every nook and cranny of various furniture just kind of flow like water from the floor space towards you as the door slams. Not by anyone else's mean, but just yours. As you consume all the spells at once.
Wow.
That's a lot of power. It's also a pissed off sorcerer.
Yep.
I would say miffed. is a more accurate description.
Yeah.
As the time grows near, and you start to hear shifting outside your doored rooms.
I was a literal mannequin on the bed the whole night.
I'm surprised they bothered to give you a bed.
I'm surprised I bothered to use it.
Simultaneously, all 4 of your doors open, unless anything else you wish to do. Okay.
Let's talk to these people.
All 4 doors open as you see the 4-armed caster with a guard down the hallway, making it clear that you go that direction.
I'm sorry I crushed the pan. I didn't mean to.
What pan?
Oh, was it a plate? It was the pan for doing your business while I went over and I sat down on it. I'm sorry. Just wanted to say that out there that I wasn't vandalism. It was just I was always trying to use the facilities. Didn't work. Sorry.
He just shakes his head.
What is it with you and shitting?
It's a everyone does it. Well, oh what? Maybe you don't.
What the whole campaign is? It's been the whole thing. I don't
I
get
was
it.
gonna say, not everyone talks about it as much as you.
Fair point. It's just
Because feral and because he's primal. This is very basic, man.
As we're walking,
rage shitting, primal shitting.
also terrified shitting and calm shitting.
Do you guys continue?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's go down.
Properly armed.
We're off to
Are you
see
making it
the
very clear that you
council.
are armed and ready?
Yes. Oh yeah. So the door's open, and I imagine like everybody steps out, but Drake steps out like with the gun, stepped in like
Like Hot Fuzz style. at the
exactly,
end.
just
Yeah,
stepping
yeah.
out like, let's go,
Morning.
fascist.
Toothpick. Morning.
Similar vibe of ethereal black energy surrounding me.
I'm
I guess-
following her out of this building one way or another by the end of the day.
One by one as you leave, and your various, well, you guys are very intense, but it's somewhat slightly, less
Overstated.
intense. Oh, and not really overstated, but deflated because he comes out at pretty much right before you guys talking about sorry about the shitter.
Get the badass music. Da-da-da, wah, wah.
Yeah, with the flies behind him.
Just me.
You guys, as you guys leave,
Freshly polished.
Oh wait, he's not as shiny anymore. Because how long does that last?
What?
The charisma thing.
Until he takes it off.
Oh yeah, no, it actually lasts like up to 10 minutes. It's
it's
Okay.
gone unfortunately. But you got a long rest.
Cool.
You guys exit
Get my
this
rage back.
visitor section of the estate, and you are led into the main chambers as you go into this. Why is my brain failing me right now? But you go into the courtyard of this area as you go towards the main doors.
Antechamber.
No, it's the courtyard before the actual manor itself,
Oh. Well, it might
because
be,
the tail is actually wrapped
That's
around.
so it's
it
kind of like an
entirely.
outside area. But,
Yeah, it's an
okay,
outside
so
area.
what is it, a courtyard?
It's a quad.
Court. I called it a courtyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a courtyard.
Yeah. Anyway, so as you are
Inner ward.
as you're discussing again about proper
That's
naming
right.
of this
So we
section,
walk in going, what is this? Is this a courtyard? No,
No.
it's a quad.
no,
it's an inner
it's a
ward.
little too high walls right here.
I call it an inner ward. Yes.
Is it too big to be a foyer?
Could be an antechamber.
Is it a foyer or a foyer?
The front door's open.
Antechambers are actually closed spaces, aren't they? As we're walking into the.
It's a foyer or a foyer? Like, is it interchangeable or is one way correct over the other?
Foyer
Homage.
is preferred, but both
Homage.
are allowed.
Homophones! They sound the same. They're spelled the same.
You are entered into the area, and
Those would be homonyms, not homophones.
now that you've seen this in broad daylight, you notice that there's actual pillars that are lining this courtyard that are going above the actual tail section itself that's wrapping around this courtyard. These giant pillars that are maybe 3 to 5 feet wide in diameter. And you notice what initially in the dark you thought were statues. And you're like, oh, those are winged warforged.
What?
Standing like vanguard, just on top of these pillars that are a good 30 feet tall.
Oh, they're gargoyles.
Not really gargoyles, as they are standing like Royal Guard elite that are clearly much better equipment across their chest and some sort of harness that goes across their front part of it that have wings connected to their back. I'm sorry, they don't need a harness. It's integrated, sorry.
What's the name of those clockwork angels?
Oh, shoot.
But their wings are not as, like feathered wings. Their wings are very much like a downgraded angelicoid, as they have steel wings that go quite literally just this much upon their back.
Ornamental. Magical.
They're not modrons. They're the next
They're-
step up.
Yeah, they're more magical based or steampunk based, whatever. They're not actually, flap, 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 flap.
Inevitables. They're inevitables. They're great big fucking inevitables.
And they're currently
Never heard of
looking
them.
down towards you.
By the way, they couldn't be gargoyles because gargoyles have to have the waterwork connection. Otherwise, they're
They're
They are not,
grotesques.
they're not gargoyles. They're literally just pillars with stationed winged guards on top of them.
Gargoyles that have water features, grotesques are the ones that don't.
Yep.
The doors open in front of you. As you open up to the main foyer of this manor, you are escorted through several corridors as it twists and turns until you meet another similar big doorway, but slightly downgraded to the main door of this manor.
They're not going to get any Goliaths in here, are they?
No, they are not going to get any Titans in here, as it's far
They have
too
one on top
small
of it.
in this area. With your past investigation, just right off the bat, you notice that the belly of the actual constructed dragon is the roofing of this entire area.
Whoa.
So,
And the
So
pillars
we need
are
to
actually just
go
holding
fly. Understood.
the creature up. This door of steel and interworking cogs that are currently locked shut as soon as you approach the four-armed mage individual does a small incantation and then suddenly as four symbols pop up at each corner of the door as this double-doored room opens up. As you see a somewhat oval room, about 100 feet long, maybe 50 feet wide, that has a circular section that has been risen up near the back part of it, along with staircases that go to either side, left and right, that go up and over into areas you can't see right now. With this raised section that you can traverse, there are several tables, as if people that are waiting to have meetings are currently waiting or getting their papers ready and so on and so forth at these designated tables on the left and right. This raised section, you see in the process that is currently lowering down into the floor a round table that is split off into multiple sections of big, tall, back-rise chairs with people sitting in them right now.
So the table is lowering into the ground? Like,
The table split, left a little circle at the center, and that is lowering into it,
okay.
lowering into the floor. As these now segmented pieces of the table completely expand out as you see various different parts of the Warforge, 7 of them and counting, are pushed further into the back.
Just so I'm clear here, the floor is moving.
The chairs are moving. The entire chair and part of their desk seems to be moving at predetermined lines as you hear turning the gears and pulling in the chairs as things are moving into position. And
I'd say they were at
Yeah.
the table.
I
And they're-
think
this
there's-
whole thing,
This is a multi-purpose room.
7 Warforged at these 7 chairs. Yes.
So they were around the table, and they got pulled away from their table to go up to like a pedestal.
Correct. As they move to the back
Without
of this raised section, and the whole thing starts to move up just for them. making a lowered section for you guys.
Not
Making
ostentatious at all.
a little bit, yeah.
So wait, I'm sorry. Hang on. These are Warforged senator types, I assume. Yes.
Yes, and they're currently about.
So since
100
we are in the
feet.
presence of a Warforged, you're not a Goliath. What are you? There's
Juggernaut.
Juggernaut. So they come up to his eye level.
Actually, they're with
That's
because
why
they're
you
on a this room. There's the room, and then it rises for that little
only 7
meeting
feet
area
tall.
where the table is, and then they raise a tiny bit further. So they're about 10 feet high right now.
Okay, so it's like instead you guys are doing this.
It's
I'm
very
doing this.
grand and overachievement, and the rest of the room pretty simplistic, as it has that similar vibe of the twisting knotted vines that are etched into the stonework and the steelwork around you, with just the hint of decorum as fabric has been laid of a fabric rooftop that has been connected from there down the poles. From the center down to the poles, and then again downward, making it almost like a tent-like feel to this place.
There's drapes dripping in.
Tapestries.
Not tapestries.
Is that Arabian Nights?
Is that silk damask?
Is that silk damask as the doors closes behind you?
So Eck, is that silk damask? And Drake goes, how do you? You are a very complicated being.
He doesn't say much.
What I say, I usually put something in my mouth, and so I just don't say much.
There's a lot going in there into that thin dome there.
I'm eclectic. Eclectic, get it?
Ignoring the people who are just like.
Please, the center one seems to be speaking. Please step towards the pedestal. As these lines of bars line up, and there seems to be a center circle.
I will go first.
As you step forward to greet the council of the Tempered Thought, as you look over to the 7 before you at these very drastically different individuals that we'll get to in a moment. We're going to stop here, take a small break, and we're going to open up the door because it's getting a little roasty in here. At least for me.
Finally at human temperature. It's obviously time to cool down.
I'm a polar bear, thank you. So, a very
Exothermic.
important meeting is about to take place. We're gonna end the game here. Hopefully, no one says something stupid.
Oh, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Clearly, you haven't been watching the show.
Till then, we'll see you next time. Remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep on rolling. Till next time, have fun. Come back. We love you. I feel needy. Anyway.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.